There are so many different ways to deploy Terraform and manage state across multiple environments. So in this video, I'm going to walk through how to set up a project and manage multiple workspaces inside of Terraform Cloud. I'm a DevOps engineer and I've shipped countless projects with multiple environments from dev to QAT to UAT to production. And in doing so, I've learned the best ways to manage it in Terraform Cloud. So here's the plan. We're going to walk through our Terraform configuration briefly, and then we'll configure a new project in Terraform Cloud. We'll set up workspaces designated for each environment from dev to production, and then we'll configure a VCS connection linked to each branch within our GitHub repo. So to start us off here, you'll see this is extremely simple. I wanted to keep the Terraform code very basic so that we could focus on what's important in this video. If we look here on the left, we have a standard Terraform structure. So we have our Terraform directory. Under that, we have environments and modules. Inside of modules, we just have an EC2 module, which contains our main, our output, and our var. And again, this is very basic. It's just an AWS instance, and it takes in variables for the AMI ID, the instance type, etc. Now moving into the environments, this is where we have all of the same code. We're going to create an S3 bucket, an EC2 instance, and the EC2 will come from that module. And again, these are exact replicas except for inside of our Terraform TF vars. I have the environment equals dev here, and then for our prod, we have environment equals prod. So we're going to go through next. We're going to create the project in Terraform Cloud and then create the workspaces. And once we create those workspaces, we'll have to come in here and define the backend within our provider. And real quickly, this repository will be linked in the description below. Okay, so here we are in Terraform Cloud. I'm going to go ahead and create a new project, and I will call this YouTube TF Cloud. Add a description if you'd like. Make sure that way you're keeping things organized. I'm going to go ahead and just press create here. And so now we have our project, and a project in Terraform Cloud is a single project that houses workspaces. So within that project, now we can have one-to-many workspaces. And so this is where we'll create a new workspace, and this is going to be our dev or development designated workspace, and I will do version control workflow. This is usually the best way to do it. You can use the others, but using VCS is usually the preferred approach. So I'll go ahead and click connect to VCS and then do GitHub app. If you have not done this before, you will have to install the app on your GitHub. It gives really easy directions on how to do so. So just follow along with that. So here's the list of repositories. Since I'm connected to my GitHub, you'll see there's 33 here. I just copied off the repository name here, and I'm going to enter that in. And it automatically, once I hit enter, goes with that. So it found my workspace name based off that. I'm going to put the suffix of dev here so I know this is dev, and then the other one will be prod. Workspace for dev deployment, and tags again if you want, advanced options. So now under advanced options, this is important. If we come into our repository here, you need to pay attention to the structure here. So we have Terraform, environments, dev, and then prod. We are going to be referencing the dev to be deploying for our dev environment. So we have this branch-based and trunk-based protection. And so in order to reference this list of files, I'm going to go ahead and set my working directory to /terraform/environments/dev. And so that will tell it that everything that we should be referencing is inside of this dev. And then again, remember, this dev main.tf points back into this modules, and that's how we make that call. We will skip the auto apply. This is something that's good to get to, but I'm not going to set that up now. Basically, if I push a change to my GitHub, I can have it automatically run my Terraform before I even do anything. But I'm going to use manual approvers. Manual approvals for this one. You can have branch-based or tag-based. So if we come into GitHub, we have code, and then over here we have 3 branches. So we have our main, we have our prod, and our dev. Really, I should get rid of main on this, set the default to dev, and then all of your feature branches will come off of your dev branch. We are going to deploy from here though, so I can copy out this name and go ahead and set that to dev. This tag based, I'm not going to do it in this video, but this is something that you could set up deployments. So within GitHub, you're able to create releases. And when you publish a release, you can give it a version. So I could say this is version 1.0. And then my tag base will reference the version of the deployment. So there are nuanced use cases for that. Usually you're going to go with branch based. Scrolling down, automatic trigger, that's fine. Speculative run, I like this. So when I make a pull request into dev, it's going to show me speculatively what will be changed before I actually merge it to know if it's a good change. And include submodules on clone, I don't need that. So I'll go ahead and create. And so now what you'll see here, because I have required variables, so if I come back to my code base, inside of my variable file, I have 5 variables here. 2 of them are required because I don't have defaults. So these 3 do. My access key ID and my access key secret do not have values, so it's going to force me to enter them now. So I'm going to go to AWS and grab those. So to get my credentials, I'm going to go to IAM. And then inside of here, if you don't already have a user that's created for this, you're going to want to create a service account. You're going to want to create a service account that is specific to this. Important thing here is make sure it's not tied to a user. I don't want to run this as Joshua Geisler because if I'm working at a company and I leave that company, my Terraform is now broken. So I don't want a person to own this. I want an account to own it that is not tied to anyone. So I'm going to create a new user here. I'm going to call it YouTube Demo Service Account. And we don't need to give it management access, the console. Let's just copy permissions. I'm going to copy it for myself and just give it admin permissions. And we don't need any tags. Let's go ahead and create user now. And then inside of this user, you're going to click on the user, come over to security credentials and scroll down to access keys. I'm going to do create access key, and this will be for a CLI is fine. And just say that you understand and go ahead and hit next. Again, tags, I don't need any here, create tags. So here's my access key. Now if I come back to Terraform Cloud, I'm going to copy this in as the ID, come over to my secret key and copy that in here. And yes, this is visible. I'm going to delete this after, so don't try to log in with that. So now those are set. And real quickly, I do want to show the permissions. So I just gave admin access. You can give it whatever you need, but usually Terraform service accounts are going to have scope permissions to do what they're needed if you're in a large company. I've entered in my variables, and I'm going to go ahead and start a new plan. And we will do a plan and apply, and I'll go ahead and hit start. So now this is going to reference my GitHub here. Pull out my Terraform configuration from the dev environment and the dev branch. It'll do a plan, and if that plan looks good, we can apply it. So here's our plan running, and there we go. We're going to create an S3 bucket and an EC2 instance. Here's our cost estimation. It's going to cost $863 a month about, and we'll go ahead and confirm and apply. Okay, so now while that's applying, again, here's my project over on the left. I click this to filter, and then here's the workspace that is running. So this will apply this way, but I do want to show how to access it from your local because that's important for development purposes. So first, I'm going to run tf login from my command line. Go ahead and hit yes, and that'll prompt you to create a token here. We will generate that token and then come back to my terminal and paste that token in. So there we go. Now I'm logged in as my Terraform user. I'm going to run Terraform init. Actually, let's cd to Terraform environments dev tf init. And you'll see there's no remote or organization. So we want to pull our organization and our workspace name. So the organization here is called CloudZap. And then if I come back to my Terraform, and then I come back and grab my workspace name, and that'll be YT intro dev. I'll paste that in workspaces here. So we have backend remote, define the host name, which that's almost always going to be this unless you have Terraform Enterprise, set our organization and set our workspace. Now we can run Terraform init. And because I've logged in with the CLI, I can now access this workspace from my command line. So then what's good about this is I can make changes and run Terraform plan directly from here. It won't let me apply because we're using VCS. So this is good because then developers can't make changes from their command line. It has to be pushed to Git. But if I want to go in here and try to change my S3 bucket to have a new policy attached to it, I can do a plan right from here. You'll see it in the console still. So if I open up this workspace, and go to runs, here we have triggered via CLI, and it's actually doing that run. So I can see exactly what will be changed from my command line now, and it just gives that really quick developer feedback loop. So that aside, let's come back to our workspaces, and we will see here our runs, our apply did go successful. So now we have an apply finished, and we've created these 2 resources. So next up, I'm going to run through. I'll do the exact same thing I did for dev, but I'm going to create the production one now. And then this time in the settings, we're going to set Terraform environments. Is it with an S? Let's double check that. It is environments/prod. So this way we're looking at the prod directory again. And then we also want to look at the prod branch. So if we come down here, we'll enter prod. And that'll update our VCS. So now let's come back to our project view. And here we go. So now we have a workspace name. So now we have our 2 workspaces, YT Terraform Intro Dev and Prod. And our dev points to our dev branch in GitHub, our prod points to our prod branch, and they both point to their own directories. So that way, within our code, even if we push changes, it still needs 2 layers of change to happen for change to be occurred within Terraform. I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more.